I've Got a Secret, brought to you tonight by Green Whip, the whip-topping mix with all the flavor richness of whipped cream from General Foods. From New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Steve Allen.
Well, we're going to have a wild time tonight because I'm getting this already. And not only that, but even a little of this. How do you like that? And as if those aren't enough, Fat Jack Leonard and his entire mouth are here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's meet our panel, just to be mundane here. First of all, lovely Betsy Palmer.
Good evening.
And lovely Bill Cullen, and lovely Bess Meyerson, and lovely Henry Morgan. You all set to play the game, panel? All right, fine. Then put on your masks, would you please? Look at them looking for the masks. No, I'm kidding. There are no masks. It's not the same program. May we have our first contestants, please? Thank you. Hello. Nice to have you all with us. I'll move over here to make a little more room. Our contestants here, panel, speak no English, so I will have to introduce them. This is Sonia and Pedro Risolo. They are from Argentina. And the young lady behind them is Vera Gilwanter. Is that correct? She is going to act as their interpreter. And she's acting as their interpreter because she is their interpreter. It's not an imitation she's doing or anything. Anyway, Sonia and Pedro have been traveling from Argentina to the Canadian border, which is a pretty good trick in itself, and we heard about them when they got that far. But we didn't let them complete their trip to Quebec because we felt that they were perfect for I've Got a Secret. So, Mrs. Gwander, if you will ask them now to whisper their secret to me, we'll show it to the audience at home, and we'll let everybody know what's up. Oh, come on, don't get smart. Do it in English in the booth. What is that? Uh-huh. I see. Dígame más, por favor. Yeah. Panel, the clue to Senor y Senora's secret concerns the trip they are making, and we'll start the game with Guillermo Cullen.
Muchas gracias.
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Vera, would you ask Pedro if I am interested in finding out the mode of transportation they used?
¿Está interesado en la forma en que
Yes, sí, por supuesto.
See, yes.
Gracias. Would you ask Sonia if it was an unusual mode of transportation, not the way one would ordinarily travel from Argentina to
¿Era
Canada?
una forma rara de viajar?
Yes, sí.
See?
Unusual in terms of the distance. There's $20 down, 60 to go. Bess?
Did it have wheels?
Tenía ruedas.
Sí.
And were you both, Sonia, were you both completely enclosed? Was an enclosed...
¿Estaban los dos abajo algo?
No.
Did you have to wear very warm clothes?
Tenía que poner ropa muy caliente.
Ciertas partes.
Sometimes.
There's half the money, and yes, they frequently wore warm clothes. Henry Morgan?
Very cold.
Well, it sounds like a bicycle built for two or something like that.
Henry? You hit it right on the head, Henry. Which is a pretty good straight line, but if we can open the curtains right now, we'll let everybody see this remarkable device. But before we do that, before we let you... Well, you've already seen it. Now you spoil everything. But anyway, besides seeing that, we want you, so you'll really know what a fantastic trip this is, we want you all to look at a map here. This is where they started, down here in Argentina. And they went up around the base of the cerebellum here, up through the cranial artery, and up through Mexico, up the east coast of the United States, and we grabbed them right up there before they got over the border. And believe it or not, all kidding aside, now that's a 15,000-mile trip. And you know how long it took? 4 years. Oh, no, wait a minute. 2 years and 4 months. Now let's go over here and, trying to think of how you say this in Spanish, and I can't. Here is the device. Was this made in Argentina?
¿Está hecho en Argentina?
Sí, lo armé yo.
I see. How many tires did you use?
He did it himself.
Oh, you did it himself?
Yes.
Oh. And how many tires did you wear out on the trip?
¿Cuántas ruedas? 30, me parece.
Cámara, 30 cámaras más o menos.
30, over 30.
Wow. The big question, of course, is por qué?
Why? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
Porque voy escribiendo mi libro durante el viaje.
Because he's writing a book about his trip.
Isn't it easier to do at a desk? Oh, I see, about the trip. I see. That's the minute he likes it, right, as he was joggling along. I see. Well, that really is remarkable, which goes without saying. These are the warm clothes that Bess or Henry were asking about, very warm clothes. And they both dress like men, actually, because you can't, do this in a ball gown or anything. And they were both wearing these heavy masculine boots and men's leather hats and ski pants. And when they got here to New York, they were still wearing these clothes, and a moderately amusing thing happened. They went in to, get a little tidy after the trip for the show. They went into a barber shop, and Sonia sat down, and she wears her hair sort of short anyway, and she was wearing men's clothes, and the reason she has this man's haircut is the barber thought she was a man. Really. Really, it's not a joke. It's actually kind of a sweet story. Will you be bicycling back?
¿Van a regresar en bicicleta?
No.
Once is enough. Well, again, congratulations on your fantastic stunt. So nice to have had you with us. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Remarkable. Well, sir, we'll all be back with you again in just a moment, but first, let's watch this. Bill just pointed out something that I had not noticed in the hurly-burly of the conversation there in the translating. The word por qué, as many of you probably know, Spanish word means why. So I said to them, the big question, of course, is por qué. And the interpreter turns to the fellow and says, why? That is funny. And now I want you to meet our special guest. But before we meet our special guest, panel, would you all hold up your little pads and pencils and things like that for making notes? Hold them up above your head. Now, just drop them on the floor in front of the desk. Would you just throw them right down there? Oh, how messy that looks. Isn't that terrible? But there's a reason thank you, Bill. There's a reason we want you to do that, and that is that we're about to give you don't throw your clothes and everything, no. Just the pencils and the papers. We're going to give you a memory test, and we don't want you making any notes on anything. And now, they're still throwing slop all over the floor. I never knew what a messy desk you had over there. Look at that floor. Get a shot of the floor, can you? Stand down, look at this garbage on the floor. Welcome to a new program called City Dump, ladies and gentlemen. Goodson driving. All right. Now, before we, I guess he's about ready to come out. A good friend of all of us here on the show. Three of the biggest and funniest words in show business, Jack E. Leonard. Here he is. Jack, nice to have you with us.
I think so. Oh, Henry. Nice fellow. Nice guy. I always liked Henry.
All right.
Not particularly, but I always liked him.
Now, I'm going to ask Jack a series of biographical questions.
I hope I know what you're talking about, sir.
All right, Jack, and I wish you did.
I certainly think so.
Okay. All the battle has
Now,
to
take
do...
your time, Steve. Watch your tempo now. This is very important. I don't want to see you lose this show.
All the battle has to do is listen carefully, because when I finish the interview, you know the old saying comedians do, pay attention, we're going to ask questions. In this case, we are going to ask questions.
That's very interesting.
I'm going to, well, it'll turn out to be eventually, Jack. I'm going to test all of the panel to find out how many facts you can remember from the answers that Jack will now give us. You all set?
Yes, I think so.
All right, Jack, what is your real name?
You really want to know?
Not particularly, Jack.
Okay, fine.
But seriously.
My real name is Leonard Libitsky.
All right. In your stage name, Jackie Leonard, what does the E stand for?
Adorable.
Adorable. All right. Where were you born?
I was born in Chicago before the cops became robbers.
Okay. What street address?
2027 Evergreen Avenue, sir.
What?
That is.
What?
2027 Evergreen Avenue, Betsy.
Okay.
I'll never do a summer show with you.
How much formal education have you had?
Oh, when I wore a tuxedo, I went to school.
All right.
I had 4 years of high school naturally, and I had one part of a semester at Northwestern. 1 month I was attending school there.
I see.
I got thrown out of school because I failed my second year in high school.
All right. And what high school did you attend?
I attended a very famous Lane Techno High School. I tried to fix a Rector set, and I got thrown out.
All All right. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 3 sisters and 1 brother, making a total of 4 girls.
I see. Would you give us their names and what they do?
My sister's name, let me see, Esther, Etta, and Faye. Used to be Fanny, but she was a little embarrassed at times, so she changed her name. My brother's name is Joe, and his name used to be Fanny, and he was embarrassed, too.
What kind of work did you do just before you got into show business?
I was a lifeguard for 8 years, sir, in the city of Chicago.
I see.
At Oak Street Beach. I was a lifeguard for 8 years, sir.
I'm hip.
I
Why
know you
did
are.
you why did you quit being a lifeguard?
Because I started to hate the people I was saving.
Now, as a swimmer, this is all legit. As a swimmer, you competed in the 100-meter race, Jack.
Yes, I did.
What was your best time for that race?
I did about 57 seconds. The world's record's about 53. Of course, I was the age of 16 or 17 at that time.
And you were going straight down at the
I
time.
certainly think so. I want to say that I swam against the great Johnny Weissmuller in 1929 to show you how fast he was. I haven't seen him since.
Johnny Weissmuller. All right, now, what is the name of the fellow who got you started as a comedian?
A fellow by the name of Billy House, a great old comedian, Broadway comedian, and he put me in an act, and since then I became a star.
I see. And who did you work with when you formed your first act?
An act called Howard, Leonard, and Elise. Howard is now vice president of the General Amusement Corporation, and the girl, Elise McLaughlin, married Charlie Carell of the original Landy of Amos and Andy on radio.
That's Buddy Howe and Elise McLaughlin.
I know you're all choked up about this whole thing here.
What was the first nightclub you ever worked in?
One of the first nightclubs I played was a place called the Lookout House in Cincinnati, where I was held over, and it was a big smash many years ago.
I see. And what was the first line you ever used to put down a heckler?
It was around Christmas. I once said to a guy, "Stop heckling me, sir, because if I was Santa Claus, I'd drop a reindeer on your head."
And when...
Can we go any faster?
Yes, Jack. When were you married?
I was married, unfortunately.
When?
I got married September 10, 1945. I married an acrobat.
I see.
Yes, I ran out of rosin, and I'm in trouble now.
Now, what is your wife's name?
My wife's real name is, let me see, Catherine Frances Teresa Marie Dillon.
I see.
She's Catholic. Cost me $2 every Sunday.
I see. And do you have any pets, and if so, what are their names?
Yes, I have several pets. I have 2 dogs, sir, and a mother-in-law. And, let me see, my Yorkshire Terrier's name is Muggsy, and the Chihuahua is called Pat.
All right, and how much do you weigh now, Jack?
I weigh a smart 232. I used to weigh 360. Wow.
All right. Have you ever thought of going on a diet and maybe cutting out bread, that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, it's a little embarrassing to cut out bread because the meat keeps falling through the sandwich all the time.
Will you be appearing at any place in the future, Jack, where people can see you?
After tonight, I doubt it very much, sir. I'll be appearing at Mr. Kelly's in Chicago next Monday, January 11th, and I'll be appearing here at the Basin Street East, February 4th, Pete. And Steve, isn't it funny how your whole personality changed? And I want you to be my guest my opening night and bring Henry, too. We'll put a chain on him, and the very lovely Miss Betsy Palmer, and, of course, Bill Cullen, who became a big success, who used to work at a mining camp many years ago in Pittsburgh.
All right. Okay, Farron, you've gotten a little information there.
I want to thank you very much for allowing me to appear on this very wonderful show.
Well, Jack, believe me, if I have anything to do with it, that's
I
it.
certainly won't.
No. Now, you've gotten a little factual information in there, I hope.
No, I can't even understand you. You talk too fast. Let me ask you one question before you go any further. Why do
Certainly.
you wear contact lenses over your glasses?
How are you, Jack?
Fine.
All right. Now, here we go. The first question, which we'll put to Betsy, we'll go just one at a time down the line, see what fact, seriously, that you can retain. Where was Jackie Leonard born?
Chicago.
That's right. You remember the address, by any chance?
2720 Evergreen, I
You're wrong,
believe.
dear.
No, wrong. Well, all right, let's put... Well,
I'm very sorry about that. After all, Betsy, this game is very legit. You're wrong.
Okay, it's 2027 Evergreen, but you were on the right street,
You're wrong.
Betsy.
You're on the right street with the
Next,
wrong address. Thank you so much. Fine.
Bill Cullen, what high school did Jack attend?
Lane.
Perfect. All right, number
Very
3.
good.
What is Jack's brother's name, and what does he do for a living?
Well, his sister's name are Esther, Etta, and Faye. And his brother's name is
Fanny.
Joe. And he's...
He didn't
I didn't say.
All right.
All right,
At
there's
what
CPA.
beach, Henry, what beach in Chicago did Jack work as a lifeguard?
Oak Street.
Correct. The next question, name 2. Well, that's already been done. We've named the Jack sisters.
I can name those again.
Betsy knows them, too?
No, you go on.
Okay. Then we'll give this question to Betsy. What was Jack's best time in the 100-meter swim?
What was his best time?
Mhm.
57.
Right.
Very good. You're
Absolutely.
very clever. I'm not kidding you.
Next question, Bill. What is the world's record for the 100-meter swim?
53.
Absolutely
You're
right.
very good. Good after you.
What's the name of the comedian over there who discovered Jack when he was a Charleston dancer? Bess?
Something Blaine?
No.
No, forgot.
Name
Okay.
is Billy House.
That's
Oh,
right.
Billy
Name was
Howe.
Billy.
Okay,
I knew him
Bess
well.
missed on that, so
Well,
now
that's
the
all
game
right.
is between the other
I'm sure
remaining
Henry will miss
3.
this also.
Henry, well, let's stick with that one. Do you know Henry?
What?
Who was the
just mentioned your
comedian?
name.
Billy House,
Yes.
Steve.
You're not listening,
Billy
Steve.
House.
Sorry, Jack, I was reading the next card.
Oh, that's it.
All right. Who were Jack's partners, Henry, in his first nightclub act?
He didn't, there was a fellow married Annie Carruthers, there's another fellow, and there was a rubber dancer there, and of course, there were two guys in there.
The funny thing. That's the first time I ever heard Henry talk with a tap dancer in his mouth.
But do you remember who the people were?
The people in his first act?
Yes. Okay, two contestants left. They were Buddy Howe and Elise McLaughlin.
Elise, yeah.
Okay, now, the next question. Betsy, what was the name of the first nightclub he played?
Oh, the first nightclub you played in. It was in Cincinnati.
Right.
And it was called the,
Look out for this one, kid. Watch it. Billy House.
No, don't you feel believe me. Let's see. Cincinnati, that's halfway right. Oh, the something Wayside House or something like that.
No, that was another place.
Something house.
No, I'm sorry, Betsy.
This is called the Lookout House.
The Lookout.
Lookout.
That's
Oh,
right.
that was close.
So you're a good study.
Well,
That
I
leaves
know.
Bill, so he's automatically the winner. Let's see how many he can answer. What was the first joke that Jack used to squelch a heckler in a nightclub, Bill?
If I were Santa Claus, I'd drop a reindeer on your head.
Very good. When was he married? What year, anyway?
45.
Perfect. What's his wife's name?
I don't know, but it cost him $2 a Sunday.
We'll give you credit for... You have time for another question or two for Bill?
Catherine Dillon. Yes.
That's right.
Catherine Teresa Marie Francis.
And-
It's the whole thing. I made a whole big
And
church.
Jackie's really very fond of his mother-in-law.
I like her. She likes you very much, too.
I know. I'm fond of her,
Thank you
too.
for the dirty pictures you sent her to like.
His mother-in-law, Marshall Dillon. All right. Now, how much does Jack... I'm sorry, Jack, but you got to watch your step. All right. How much does Jack weigh now, Bill?
242 pounds.
You're wrong. 232, you lost 10 pounds there.
That's right.
You know what kind of dogs he has at home, Bill?
Yes, he has a little Yorkshire Terrier whose name is... Well, you didn't ask me. And the other one is a completely different...
And his name is Pat.
Well, Panel, you all did very well.
Listen, am I finished? Let me thank you. I wish I had to have you. Steve, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to appear in this very wonderful rock from you.
Well, Jack...
I also want to thank that very wonderful singing group over there.
The 4 outs.
I want to
There
thank
they
you
are.
very much, and may I wish you the best on the new year because you're a nice fellow and you deserve everything that I should have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. We'll take time out right now to pause and listen to a very important message. Boy, that looks good. And now may we have our next guest, please. Make yourself comfortable there. And as you sit down there, sir, would you tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Peanuts Taylor. I'm from Nassau, Bahamas.
Well, panel, as you saw by the fact that an instrument was carried in there, Mr. Taylor is a musician. To be a little more specific, he is a virtuoso on the conga drum. And, in fact, he's going to perform for us a little bit later. But before we get to that, this gentleman has a secret in connection with this particular drum that I think is quite amazing. So if you'll whisper it to me, Mr. Taylor, we'll show it to the audience. Mm-hmm. Quite a trick indeed. The panel, the clue to Mr. Taylor's secret concerns something he can do, and we'll start the game this time with Henry Morgan.
Is it, Mr. Taylor, another way you have of being able to play the drum?
Oh,
No.
Yes and no. Mostly no, I'd say.
A little more no than yes.
Yeah.
You said the secret had to do with the drum,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to do with his playing of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then does it have to do with the speed at which you can play it?
No.
No, there's a connection, but it's irrelevant to the secret.
Yeah, there's a connection with that, and there's a connection. See, I was thinking that, like he did it with his toes or something like that, and very rapidly. Is it another part of your body that you use?
No.
Another part than what?
Elbows, knees, nose, I don't know.
Actually, all conga drummers do use their elbows a little bit. But anyway, there is $20 down, 60 to go, and Betsy.
Mr. Taylor, is this indigenous of the islands? Do the people do this down there?
No.
Mostly? Is this something you dreamed up yourself?
Yes.
Is it the position in which you play the drum? Your physical position?
Mm-mm.
No.
You don't do it limbo or anything like that? Has it to do with what the drum is made of?
No.
There goes half the money. Bill Cullen.
Well, do you do something with the drum, Mr. Taylor, other than beat a tempo on it? Something in addition to a tempo?
I would have to say yes, wouldn't you, Peanuts?
Yeah.
Do you possibly play the melody line?
Yes. Very good indeed, Bill. The story is that Peanuts Taylor owns a nightclub in Nassau called, appropriately enough, the Drum Beat. And when a customer there has a request, he doesn't ask the piano player, he usually asks Mr. Taylor, because Peanuts has the remarkable ability, as you've already been told by Bill here, to play the melodies of songs using only this conga drum. So I'll set it up here for you, Peanuts, so you can add it to your other drums out there. Help yourself to the middle of our stage. The best way, of course, for Peanuts to show you what he can do is by doing it. And he has a special arrangement for us worked out. At first, he just plays the regular conga drums, and then it gets very tricky along the middle. Here is Peanuts Taylor. We'll be back in just a moment. We pause now for this important Bud Collier and the entire To Tell the Truth panel with us. And right now, all we have time to do is say goodnight, everybody. Let's go out with a little bongo music, huh?
Down by Montanaro. is John Cannon speaking.